Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2015. I'm sitting down with Dave Brown of Asmodee Games. How are you?
I'm good.
And you've brought us Mysterium, which is the Liebelad edition of Mysterium, not to be confused with Mysterium, the Polish edition from Portal Games, because, as we were just talking about, there are quite a few things that are bigger and better and awesomer, if that's a word, with this one. Definitely different, yes.
Yeah, the art's a bit different. There's structural differences to help you play, and the gameplay is a bit different, so there's all these differences.
Well, in case some people watching this haven't heard of Mysterium or haven't played it before, why don't you just give us a quick sum up of what are you trying to accomplish if you sat down to play?
So, the majority of the players are going to be psychics in the 1920s. And they're going into this old mansion, and they're trying to find
ghosts. It's like I knew you were going to say that.
So, you might get a clairvoyant point for that.
I know, right?
So they're going to go in there, and then there's going to be a ghost. But the ghost has been around for 30 or 50 years, and a little old and a little confused, and he can only communicate through these cards, these vague sorts of cards, right?
And the ghost wants to communicate to us who murdered him.
Yes.
Or her.
Yep. What you had to do first, though, is find out who was there, where they were, and what they had. So there's the person, place, and object, right? So the first 7 rounds of the game, you're gonna first go to the people, and then you're gonna find out the location that the person was in, and then what they had.
And we didn't happen to lay out the cards for the what.
Yeah, because it's a
big
space.
A lot of space.
And then once each player has gotten those 3 things together, then you lay them out in sets, and then you have final visions to find out who was the actual murderer. So once you find out who the players all were, then you find out who was the murderer. And that's important because there's red herrings. So in a 4-player game, there might be 6 different people that could be there, but you have to find out who the 4 were actually there, and then who was the murderer.
Right. So, for example, if I was the ghost and I have a hand of these vision cards, which a lot of people have compared to like Dixit cards, that they're sort of dreamy and mystical. You know, if I was trying to get you to guess one of these people really fast, you know, I'm looking through way more than I would be allowable, but I might give you this one, and I'm the ghost and I can't talk. So all you get is that card. There you go. Have fun.
So then I think, this is...
Here, I'll kind of put this down so we can actually see. So there's the clue I gave was sort of dreamy, ghost-looking people with flashlights looking at the stars.
And I might think, well, blue and yellow, that's what magicians tend to wear, blue and yellow capes. So maybe it's the magician guy.
Which actually was exactly the one I was going for, so woohoo! Yeah! Go team!
Yeah. But if there's a policeman guy too, so maybe it looks like a policeman if the policeman was out, and then which one would you guess? It would be tough, right? Because they all have multiple meanings.
That's true, yes, because the policeman would certainly carry a flashlight. Yeah. So that's the tricky thing about interpreting dreams.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, the other thing I wanted to make sure that we got to highlight, so I'm going to move the box so we have enough room for this. Because I've been playing the European edition, and this, which is for the ghost, is not. So we're going to hold this up between us.
This is great.
So so just so people can get an idea of what is this that we're holding between us?
So this is for each of there's up to 6 psychics that play, and this is color-coded by player color.
This is for the ghost.
Yes. And now you can slot the ghost. There's small versions of each of these cards that the ghost gets, and they slot them in randomly, so the ghost can look at, well, black is this color. And because it's vertical like this, it won't take up room, and the ghost can quickly see this is the right card, so they don't give the wrong clue to the wrong player, because that will mess up the entire game. And all the cards slot in nicely, and that gives you your different sets.
Yeah, so it's just a nice visual reference for the ghost. So previously,
and it's a secret too.
Right.
It's very tall.
Right, and helps you kind of hide behind it, so you're not giving away any body language signals as the ghost, since you can't talk. Now, how long do you think a typical game is going to take you? So this, player-wise, needs at least 3, correct?
2.
2? Right. So 1 investigator and 1 ghost.
Yep, you could.
And then all the way up to
7.
So 6 investigators and 1 ghost.
Yep.
How long do you think a full game would take?
So the box is 42 minutes.
That's very specific.
It's very specific, yeah. So it's exactly 42 minutes. I would give about 5 minutes per round. So once there's a 2-minute timer here, that gets activated once the last clue has been given. So in a full 7-player game, there's 6 clues to give out. That might take about 3 minutes, then they have another 2 minutes. So 5 minutes per round, 7 rounds, that's 35 minutes. And then the final round again, another 5 to 10 minutes, plus like 5 minutes of setup time probably at least. So for the full 7-player game, you're probably eking on 50 minutes to 60 minutes, but in a lower player count, it'd be maybe down to 40 minutes
Yeah.
or so. Yeah.
Now, just one last point I wanted to highlight, because this was really unique to your edition of this game, is the track here for the clairvoyant points.
Yes.
If you could just give a little overview of how this works, because this is a mechanic that's not in the
Yes.
European edition at all.
This is the major gameplay mechanic, and it's something at first you think, oh, maybe it's not co-op because you get different points.
Which is what I thought actually
Yes.
when you sat down.
Yeah. So, but it is still. So what you're doing is everybody has these voting counters here that they get to vote. So if you think somebody's guess is spot on, somebody else's guess is spot on, you can say, I really think that's spot on. I'm going to spend my check mark. Or you can say, well, I'm not sure. You're kind of making a wild guess. I'm going to say maybe you're not right. So I'm going to vote that you're not right. And if you are right, then you're clairvoyant. So you get a point on this clairvoyant meter here. And also you get points if you finish the game early. So it's 7 rounds and you need 3 things. So if you did it 1, 2, 3, you got all 3 right, you get 4 points because there's 4 extra rounds.
For being right on
Yes.
point with your guesses.
Yeah, you're such a good psychic. So you get right up there. So if you get to 5, instead of getting 1 card at the end before you have to vote, you get 2 of the ghost vision cards. If you get to all the way to 7, you get all 3 before you have to vote. The more players that have more visions, the more accurate you're going to be at the end. So it's in everyone's interest to get as many points as they can.
So you can see as much information as you can. And I gotta say also, with some definitely upgraded bits, we've got some fabulous globes here to say, this is my guess, this is what I think the ghost is trying to tell me. And probably one of the coolest turn markers I've seen in a long time. I mean,
it's all thematic, right?
Oh, for sure, definitely. Yeah, all supposed to be fitting in Scottish, abandoned Scottish manor.
I think it's a Victorian. I think it's just more of an English.
Generic spooky place.
Generic 1920s spooky abandoned mansion. Yeah.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for stopping by and showing us this new version. This has been, I know, a really quick sellout at your booth, a little bit every day.
Yeah.
So we're definitely looking forward to when this can hit mass production for all the rest of us.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by.